Hello everybody, welcome back to our channel. I'm Dr. Amel from City Skin Clinic, and today I'm going to have a little chat with you about hair Botox, what it is, and who it might be useful for. Before we get started, if you're new to this channel, welcome. Don't forget to like this video if you liked it, give it a thumbs up. And subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. Thank you so much for all of your support. And before I get started, I just wanted to say thank you to all of you for this little community that we've built. I've been really appreciating the comments, the debates that people are having, the questions, but also the way some of you have been sharing your experiences with myself, but also with the other viewers and the other people commenting, and this means everything to me, and it's really what the whole point of this channel was and the reason I set it up, so that we can have a much more open and honest and lively and sometimes even fun discussion about aesthetics, and we can share personal experiences as well as kind of the professional evidence-based stuff, because all of that is so important. Anyway, let's get to our video. What is hair Botox? So this is something that's actually been it's becoming quite popularly spoken of, and I think there are some tiny misconceptions because of the name. So hair Botox itself, which is what you might be hearing referred to in magazines, if you didn't already know, this is actually a topical treatment, so it's not an injection. It's a deep conditioning treatment for the hair, and the idea is it's a personalized treatment. The base of what I could find, there are different products out there, and they're all largely professional in-salon treatments, but really the base of it is generally collagen complex, vitamins, particularly vitamin B3 and vitamin E, because they're quite nourishing for the hair as well. Usually there may be a combination of certain oils as well, and it's kind of a combination of these things, and the proportion is supposed to be supposedly kind of personalized and tailored to what your hair needs are, and what it's supposed to do is just nourish and give shininess and condition and all those wonderful things to your hair. So it's supposed to be particularly good if your hair is damaged or dry. And the treatment itself, I think they generally apply it for about half an hour, so like most hair treatments, deep conditioning treatments, and then it's followed by a blow dry, and they use heated straighteners to lock it in, and then after that you're supposed to, a bit like a keratin treatment or a Brazilian blowout, you're supposed to then keep it dry and not wet your hair for the next couple of days at least. Where it differs from keratin treatments is that it's not, as far as we know, doesn't have formaldehyde, and it's also not really, whereas keratin-based treatments are supposed to kind of, rearrange the bonds between the hair, and so the main focus is to reduce frizz, it's to give a little bit more straightness or kind of loosen the curl pattern and smooth the hair. This hair Botox is actually supposed to kind of build up the hair shafts, I guess by putting, I don't know, the collagen in there or something. As you can tell, like, I don't know that there's any scientific evidence behind it, but a lot of people have had it and they think it's great, and I thought in the spirit of this channel I'd pick up on it, especially because I don't really like the word Botox to be banded about willy-nilly without knowing exactly what it is. So in short, hair Botox, as you're reading about it, is most likely this deep conditioning treatment that may or may not be better than other deep conditioning hair treatments. It certainly does not involve injections. It certainly does not involve Botox or any sort of botulinum toxin in the hair. I guess it's just called that because it's eye-catching and it's a fantastic marketing gimmick and it's brilliant. Botox is a trademark, so I don't know how this. Anyway, moving on. So that's kind of hair Botox that at the moment most people are talking about. There is, however, Botox injections for hair, and that is a real treatment. And that's what I'm going to talk to you about. So in case you're wondering where this is going, why am I doing a video on a hair treatment? I love hair treatments. But hair Botox, so injections to the scalp, are a real treatment. And there are two main reasons they are done clinically. One of them I 100% approve of, and there's a lot of medical data for that. The other one I don't approve of because there's no data for it, and if you're considering it, I would suggest you kind of maybe also explore other options. So let's go with the one hair Botox that works. So you may have seen our hyperhidrosis excess sweating treatment video, which uses Botox. So many people with excessive sweating, this may also be on the face or in the scalp. And when we're talking excessive sweating, it's not that you're hot and it's tedious or uncomfortable. This is kind of buckets of sweat. They can't control it. It's really debilitating. It's really embarrassing. It means people really worry about going to meetings or if important events, because it's just something that they can't, and it's kind of it feels like buckets of sweat. So people who get if the scalp is affected, so I've treated people in the past with hyperhidrosis to the face, and sometimes the scalp is affected, and I've treated that as well. We've had sometimes people, obviously the most common one is sweaty palms and feet, but like not sweaty, like really debilitating. So that's also a good treatment. Armpits and groins also get treated. In the scalp, it is usually because that's a specific, it's cranial hyperhidrosis, and that can usually often happens when someone also has excessive sweating in their face. So in that scenario, Botox is injected much more superficially than you would have Botox injected if you were getting your wrinkles done on your face, for example. But it's injected so that it works on basically the sweat glands, and it prevents them from overproducing sweat. It's a great treatment. It usually lasts an average about 6 months, sometimes a bit more in some people, sometimes a little bit less, just like any treatment. But usually people, it lasts around that mark for them, and they get so much relief from it. It can be life-changing if you're someone who suffered from excess sweating. It's a safe treatment if it's done by the correct person, it's using the correct product, the correct technique, and their experience. It's a little bit more, if you do suffer from this, make sure it's someone who specifically has experience in injecting Botox for hyperhidrosis to the face and the scalp, not just the armpits. And it's because the tissues there differ slightly, and so it just needs a little bit more. The other hair Botox injection is actually, it's something that's been around, it's still experimental, but basically there's a school of thought that maybe injecting Botox can help with hair loss. And so if you have hair loss and you want to stimulate hair growth on your head, your scalp, so this affects some women, but more often not affects men as well with male pattern baldness. The idea is that you would have these injections, and there is some very minor evidence that it could help, but there's absolutely no evidence at the moment that it could help in the way that it's sometimes promoted, which I think is wrong. So hair loss is a really sensitive issue for most people, and a lot of people who suffer from it, they're often desperate and they've tried everything and they're willing to try something, especially since Botox injections to the scalp are a lot quicker and cheaper and less time consuming than other alternatives like hair transplants. But I would just say, if you're in that category, just wait a little and just kind of wait for some more evidence to come out. Like I said, it's not that it's completely nonsense, it's out of nowhere. There isn't enough data right now to be able to hand on heart say this treatment, in the same way that we know Botox works super well for excess sweating, we know it works super well for wrinkle reduction. This is not in that category, and so really waiting for more evidence. And if you are in that position, there are things for hair loss. I'm happy to do a video another time about that. There are both at-home and clinical treatments. It's obviously a very, highly desired area of research, and there's a lot of stuff that's out there. And it's really important to kind of see where the evidence is before you waste your time and money and get your hopes up and then get really disappointed and heartbroken. So this kind of concludes today's video of hair Botox. So hair Botox, the hair treatment, has absolutely nothing to do with Botox, but apparently it gives you great looking hair. So hair Botox that actually uses Botox is useful for excess sweating of the scalp. It's amazing, and it is kind of being touted for it's being touted for hair loss. There's less evidence around that, so be cautious. Let me know what you think of this video. Let me know if you have any questions about Botox or any other kind of aesthetic or surgical cosmetic treatments. If you've tried hair Botox, the hair treatment, please let me know what you thought of it. And if you have any requests for videos for us to do in future, please leave a comment below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and if you haven't already subscribed to our channel, please do so. Until next time, stay beautiful.